Pixie Doll, welcome back to the channel. I'm Crystal, aka the Wholesome Witch, and today we are doing a little nostalgic vlog, 90s witch style. So I don't know about you, but as an elder millennial, let's say, I've been feeling all the 90s nostalgia vibes lately due to a few reasons. One, it's the Burr months coming, and I don't know, I think I always get a little nostalgia for just thinking about like the start of my witchy journey, things like this. But also there's all this talk about Practical Magic 2 coming out, which I am beyond excited for. I have to say, I cannot wait for this movie. So that's got me thinking back. All the fashions are 90s right now, and I don't know, I feel like the 90s are having a moment because there's also like a Clueless movie coming out with Alicia Silverstone, which not witchy at all, but I'm so excited. Anyways, I've been thinking a lot about the 90s, and in the 90s I was a teenager discovering my witchy path, and I just thought it would be really fun to do a little day in the life of a 90s witch and bring you along. So, I mean, obviously this is from my perspective, things that I did and ways that I would have dressed and this kind of thing. So it might not have been everybody's 90s witch vibe, but we're gonna go with, you know, some of the typical stereotypes, which were true for me. And the 90s were really such a special time when it came to witch culture, and it really spawned a generation of witches. I know a lot of the people in my community and my online world, a lot of them are also 90s born witches. Not born in the 90s, but like became a witch in the 90s. So let's say probably born in the 80s or 70s. And it was just such a great time. There were amazing things in pop culture for those that were drawn to that witchy world. There was Practical Magic, there was The Craft, there was Buffy and Charmed, and some great Tim Burton stuff came out in the 90s. Like, it was a time. It was a good time. A good time in witchy pop culture history. And a lot of the pop culture stuff, the fashion stuff, the new Practical Magic 2 that's coming out, which I'm so excited about, has all got me just feeling some sort of nostalgia. And I just thought it'd be really fun to do a little day and take you along. So it's still morning and I am going to have some coffee, which if this was 90s me having coffee, it would be very laden with sugar, some sort of fancy mocha something or other. But I mean, let's not get too crazy. I don't have sugary coffees anymore. I don't actually like them anymore. So I'm having my regular coffee with some cinnamon, which, to be fair, is a staple, a magical staple, since probably well before the 90s. And I'm going to start the day with some journaling because that is true to my 90s witch self. It's true to me now, still to this day. My journaling would have been a little different in the 90s, and just for fun, I have brought out, I've kept some things from my teenage years. I've lost a lot of things, but I've kept some things. And so this is my journal for today. However, this was one of my journals from the 90s. Yes, it's Buffy. This one is from 1999. And journaling was something I've done just always, probably since I was 12, I think, probably 12. So all throughout the 90s I was journaling, and this was one of my journals. I am not going to read you any of this because it's just too embarrassing. It's too embarrassing for me to read. I flipped it open and I saw two quick phrases and I immediately closed it again. I saw FM, which I don't know if I can say the F word on YouTube, so I'm not going to. And I saw As If. So hello Clueless. Not witchy, but definitely a movie that I adored when I was a teenager. And yeah, so, and Buffy, I was obsessed, like obsessed, still obsessed. Also can't wait for the reboot of that show. I'm just like, another thing making me nostalgic right now. I can't believe they're doing a reboot and I'm just beside myself. So Journaling was a daily habit then and now. Something else I did a lot in the 90s when I was feeling, you know, my moody, witchy teenager self, I wrote poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry. And this is one of my very old notebooks that I filled with poems. I'm not going to read these either because I'm sorry. I can't bring myself to do it, but I also couldn't bring myself to get rid of a couple of these notebooks that I have from them because, you know, some things you just keep, something to keep. So poetry and journaling were a big part of my witchy 90s teenage self life. So I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to do some journaling, daily staples since 1995, let's say. And then we're going to go have a little outing because that would be fun. 2, do a little vintage shopping, go to an occult shop and do some walkabouts in Edinburgh. Obviously, I didn't grow up in Scotland. I grew up in the east coast of Canada. My little city did not have an occult shop, but if it did, I would have been there. I would have been there regularly. I instead spent many, many hours at the one bookshelf in my local bookstore that had new age books. I spent many an hour there. But since we have the city so close to us, we are going to do a little walkabout and see what we see. And then we'll come back and do some later things in the day here back at home. So let's get journaling and then we will get ready to have our little outing. Before we head out, I wanted to give you a little rundown of the outfit for the day, of what I would have worn in the 90s, and let's be real, what I still wear today. I don't know what that says about me, but my style has evolved, but a lot of the same things, I would wear them then, and I will still wear them now, and some of these pieces are just a really good example of that. So, skirt, circa, this is honestly probably 2000, 2001. It's not quite the 90s, but close, from Le Chateau. And if you grew up in the 90s in Canada anyway, Le Chateau was all the rage. I was at the shop so much, the girls that worked there knew me by my first name. And this skirt I have loved since the day I got it, and I've taken very good care of it, so I can still wear it today. And then I have Dead Can Dance t-shirt from a show I went to of theirs many, many moons ago. And this little overshirt thing, which actually it has holes and stuff, but I don't care. I got this at a vintage shop in Vancouver just a few years back actually, but it was a used like vintage clothing store, so I don't really know what era it comes from, but it's perfect and I would have worn this in the 90s and I love wearing it now. And then of course Docs, because I don't know, was there anything else to wear other than Docs in the 90s? I have a cross necklace because I was obsessed. Little black bracelet with a bat on it. You probably cannot see that, but anyways, rings. And you know what? This Fitbit is ruining the vibe. I might take it off. But yeah, this is what I'm wearing. And this mini backpack, because mini backpacks were huge in the 90s. They were everywhere. A lot of them had like fur or like animal print, like leopard or zebra. I don't have one of those, but I do have this black mini backpack, Medusa emblem, and we're gonna bring this out with us. So yeah, let's head out. And we are out the door. However, in full disclosure, I had to film the Edinburgh clips on a different day because I live an hour away from Edinburgh on a train. I just didn't have time to do everything in one day. So we're going to pretend it was one day, but it really was 2 days. So I also lost some of my Edinburgh footage. Randomly starting at a coffee shop because always coffee first, and this place was absolutely amazing. Still played tapes, had tape players, tons of tapes on the wall. Coffee was excellent. We will definitely be back there. It was called Hideout Cafe, and also top marks for their vegan cake that we got. It was delicious. So yeah, perfect 90s vibes in that place. And then we went down to the grass market, and grass market in August is crazy, but we braved it and went to Armstrong Vintage, which is a really cool vintage clothing shop. They have a couple of locations in Edinburgh, and they just have a really great selection, really cool atmosphere. Definitely recommend if you're ever in the city. And no trip to Edinburgh would really be complete without taking a walk through Greyfriars Kirkyard. Greyfriars is one of the most beautiful cemeteries in the city, in my opinion. It's also one of the most famous. It's also one of the most haunted cemeteries in the city, and we did a ghost walk there once, but we did it during the daytime because we were just, if I'm being frank, too scared to do the nighttime one. Maybe one day we will go back and do that one as well. But yeah, such a nice spot to walk through, and especially nice if you can get there on a day that's not totally crowded, because it's quite a touristy spot as well. And then after that, we made our way through the Meadows, which is a beautiful green space in the middle of Edinburgh, and we made our way through there on our way to Black Rabbit, which is a great little vegan cafe. Now, in the 90s I wasn't vegan, but let's pretend I was. And this is the first time I made it there for actual lunch. I had only had coffee and treats from there before, both which were so good. And the lunch was no exception. I got a bagel with like seitan bacon, avocado, tomato, lettuce. It was very, very good. Another one I highly recommend if you're ever in the city. And then we had to make our way over to the Weird Shop, which is I believe Scotland's oldest occult store, and they have a wonderful selection of books, jewelry, crystals, all that good stuff, and we always have a good little shop in there. Then we made our way back to Waverley Station to head home because that was a pretty full few hours, and I had some train footage. I lost it. I don't know what happened to this day. Some of it disappeared on me. Anyhow, we made it back, and now let's continue with our at-home portion of this 90s day vlog. Okay guys, so time to get a little coffee refill and do a witch's sachet little ritual. Yes, I had coffee this morning. I've had coffee a couple times today. However, it's the 90s and I don't like tea. Not yet anyway. So I'm going to stay true to the day and refill my coffee. Really, just any excuse to have another coffee. I don't really need one. And we're going to warm it up in the microwave and just use like this morning's coffee because why not? I'm not going to make a fresh pot of coffee. So we're going to do this. We're going to do a little ritual, and I have a couple of other things planned for a little later in the day. Things like reading and watching movies perhaps. Because 90s me, that was my life. Reading, writing, watching movies, going to the bookstore. So I have a little responsibility, right? What's that like now? Okay, microwave. Okay, hi guys, we're back and we are going to do our little ritual. Now, this is how I would have done it back in the day because I didn't have an altar or anything. I had like a little shelf thing in my room that I sort of used as an altar, but I didn't have like a standing altar, so I would just get things out as I needed them. And I have this little box, and this box is literally from when I was a teenager. It was my grandmother's box. And when she passed away, look, the bottom's coming out. I gotta fix it. When she passed away, I took it for myself. And it became the box that I just like kept all my little witchy things in. and I'm going to show you a couple things. So the little box, I have to be so careful, it just has like a few things, and it has like a whole lot of crystals, some herbs. It has this little hematite pendant that I used to wear during all of my ritual work, and it has some candles. It has a little goddess. It used to have my ritual knife, but I did not bring that over the years. I don't have that anymore. It has lots of little papers from my crystals. It has some little spells and writings that I did still. So this is something I really wanted to hold on to. And it also has the Necronomicon spellbook. And teenage me in the 90s was drawing these sigils all over the place, like all the time. I even got one tattooed onto me, the one that was associated with protection. And I got it tattooed on my arm, which is now since been covered up, let's just say. I covered it up with my newer tattoo that I love very much. But yeah, this book, I used this book a lot when I was a teenager. So today what we're going to do is a little like witch's sachet, and I have the materials. I left the materials to do it in the other room. Smokey, it's okay, babe. Come. So I don't think I'm going to use anything from this box today, but I just wanted to show you. Yeah, I had to hang on to this. I questioned it when we moved to Scotland, and I was like, what? No, of course I have to bring this. It's like a big part of my history. We're not going to use these things today. However, we are going to put together a little sachet for confidence, because harkening back to 90s me, I needed it. I needed it a lot. I was the shyest kid, teenager. I was so shy. I'm still shy and introverted, but I've come a long way. Let's just say that. So I have my things here. I'm not going to add a lot to it. I have my incense. So I also have my little altar cloth, which I had a cloth. I always put a cloth down back in the day. I don't have that cloth anymore. And I don't have a lot of space here, so we're just going to put it out, like, I'm not going to unfold it all the way. Let's try and make space. Okay. So, incense. I would have had every candle in my room lit for anything. It didn't matter. I just lit all the candles for all of my ritual work because, I don't know, it was a vibe. And I've always liked candle magic, and just the more candles, the better. I have my little wand here. I did not have a proper wand when I was a teenager. I had a stick that I found in my friend's backyard, and it just was perfect to me. It was perfect, and that's what I used. So for the sachet, we're going to do a citrine stone for confidence. We're going to use a red little sachet for, red's fire, energy, confidence. Cinnamon for success and luck, some lavender for happiness. We're going to add all that into the sachet with a little mini spell, confidence mini spell, affirmation, intention, what have you. And I'm going to cleanse my tools with the incense first, light our candles, and then we will put it together. How do I want to set this up? Let's see, candle here. I lit so many candles when I was a teenager that, I don't know if this is too much information. I'm going to tell you anyway. I lit so many candles for a time that I was getting like a little bit stuffy, like feeling congested, but I wasn't sick. And when I would go to blow my nose, it actually was black from the soot from the candles burning. That's how many and how often I was burning them. Needless to say, I no longer use paraffin candles. I use soy or other natural wax candles. Paraffin's not the greatest, but 90s me, who knew? Who knew back then? So anyway, let's put our, oh my cat, she's having a bath. Okay, let's cleanse our space and we'll put our sachet together. Okay, so we've done our pouch. What we're going to do with this is keep it in our bag and carry it with us to have confidence and luck and success when we are out and about. And I would have put this in my backpack and brought it to school with me because I was just very shy and I needed all the help I could get. So what I would like to do now is a little reading session, and it's getting later in the day. It's still very light because it's August. But it's getting later in the day and I think I want to get on something comfy and drink my coffee that I just heated up and like it cold. Drink my coffee, have a reading session, get in some comfy clothes, and yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna change and I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm comfy now and I have my coffee that isn't quite hot, but it's not cold. Nightmare Before Christmas t-shirt came out in '93 and I was 10 and it was everything. It was everything. I loved it so much. Okay, so I want to have a little bit of a reading session and I'm going to throw back to some books I read in the 90s. And to be honest, haven't picked them up too much since. But I'm going to show you a couple of them because it's fun. And I haven't held on to all my books from the 90s. I've moved cities, provinces, countries, so I've lost some books along the way, which is a little bit sad, but a couple of these are actually my second copies because the first one I have no idea where it ended up and I had to still own it. So I'm going to go through a couple from back in the day and then I'm going to choose one to read. And books in the 90s, it was a different time. There was not the abundance of books that there are now, and there were not books on so many different topics. It was, at least where I was from and in my very limited range in the bookshop in my city, it was dominated by Wiccan books and high magic books, and there wasn't a lot else. So I had a very limited view of what I thought a magical practice or a witch's practice could be. And yeah, it's evolved over many, many years, but things just were different in the 90s. If you're learning the craft now, there's so many avenues that you can learn from. There's so many websites and YouTube channels and the books. There's so many books, some better than others, but there's a lot out there and just so many resources, which is really, really wonderful. And yeah, it was a different time back then. There was I could find maybe 2 websites when I went on my friend's computer because we didn't have one. I remember 2 that I was able to find and come across, and they were like black and red and dark and pretty tacky, if I'm being honest. Very fun to remember. And yeah, most of the books that I owned were very Wicca focused because that's what was out there. So I kind of thought I had to be Wiccan in order to be a witch, and that is not the case at all. Witches do not need to follow Wicca as their way to practice. But you know, back then as a teenager. I kind of thought I did, and there were some things that I would read and I'm like, this doesn't really resonate with me, but a lot of the stuff did. And anyways, it was a time. I'm going to show you some of the books that I had and that kind of have stuck with me and that I managed to hold on to. And I think I know which one I want to read already, but let's go through them and see. So I have these 3 small books. I have The Complete Art of Witchcraft, Penetrating the Secrets of White Magic, because white magic and black magic were very much a thing. They're still a thing, but not like, in some circles they're still a thing, I guess. But magic is neither white nor black, in my opinion. Anyways, this one was all about white magic. And what was the year? So this book was published in 1971. I found this in a used bookstore, actually in Toronto when I was a teenager visiting my sister. So there was this one. And then I had a few, I only have 2 right now left, but I had a few from Llewellyn's How To series. If you were a witch in the 90s, you absolutely had to have owned at least one of these. Leave me a comment if you if you owned one of these, because I would love to know. So the 2 that I've managed to keep, I have How to Uncover Your Past Lives and How to Read the Tarot. So these are 2 that I have kept. If I can see, published 97, and they're both published in 97. So loved these little books. And then I have a couple more. I have The Magical Household, Scott Cunningham and David Harrington. Scott Cunningham dominated my early books. I definitely owned the most by him, and he's probably still the single author that I have the most books from, because Wiccan or not, his books are filled with good information. You do not need to consider yourself Wiccan to get so much out of them. And The Magical Household, I have gone through this so many times. I've taken so many things from it. I've highlighted things in it. And I love this book, and I revisit this book still to this day. It's one that I revisit. It's not one that I haven't picked up in forever, like these ones. I haven't picked these up in a very, very long time. I haven't read any of them in a very long time. This one, though, staple if you are interested in creating a magical household for yourself. Pick this book up. And also subscribe to my Wholesome Circle spellbook, because my September 1st edition is going to be all about house and home magic, because what I say earlier, the Burr months are coming and we need to get ready. We need to prepare our homes in a magical way for the autumn and winter months and this darker part of the year that's coming that I'm so excited about. Anyways, talk about that later. Another book that I picked up real early, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. Many 90's witches had this book, and I don't know when it was first published. I don't know if you guys are interested in this. Anyways, first published. This one, this is my second copy of this one, because my first one, I have no idea what happened to it, and I couldn't not own it, so I bought it again. It was printed in 2006. 39th print though. This was 39th run of this book, and I would love to find out when it was first published, but oh, it says 1988 here, so the first edition may have been published in 1988. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up. Anyways, Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. I loved this because I've always been a solitary practitioner. I've never had a coven. I had a friend kind of dabble with me in high school a little bit. But it was kind of like a novelty and short-lived for her. It wasn't the lifelong journey it became for me. And then I have 2 more. I have The Spiral Dance by Starhawk, which is a classic, and I think everyone should own and read this book. And this is also a second copy of mine. It was first published, I think, in 1979. So it's an oldie, but highly recommend. Starhawk's pretty iconic and everybody knows her, as they should. Fun fact, I bought this book and then I didn't read it actually for many years later. I think my teenage self wasn't ready for it. So I didn't read it right away. I read it in my 20s. But yeah, highly recommend. And then I have Halloween by Silver Ravenwolf. And Silver was so huge in the 90s. I think every teenage witch had at least one of her books. This is actually the only book of hers, funny enough, that I have. This was printed in 99, I think 99. So there were lots of books from her in my bookshop, even though there were a limited selection. I found this one and I was like, Halloween, okay. I've got to buy it. It has spells and rituals and recipes, and it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. So if you find this anywhere, pick it up. Pick it up. All of these, actually, I don't know if you can find some of them anymore. I mean, Spiral Dance, Wicca, of course, you can find those ones. The Magical Household, you can still buy that one. These ones, though, these three little ones, I don't know. However, those are just a few of the 90s books that I had, still have, and I think I had a couple by DJ Conway as well. And I'm sure that I still have one, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to show it to you guys, but I couldn't find it. Anyways, I decided before I even started filming this video that I was going to read How to Discover Your Past Lives, because the topic fascinates me and it's something I would love to remember. And I haven't read this book since I was a teenager. Oh my goodness, it still has the receipt in it. It still has the receipt in it. Wow. I also bought this one when I was visiting my sister in Toronto, which I did not remember. I bought this July 25th, 1999, this one. And it was $6.95. Aw, $6.95. Wow. Nothing costs $6.95 anymore except maybe a coffee. Okay, I'm gonna read this now. I'm gonna drink my coffee, and then we're maybe gonna cozy up with a little movie night. Let's see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm actually gonna read this whole thing. I'm not just gonna read it for the video. I'm gonna start it right now because I haven't started it. And like I said, I haven't read it since I bought it. But I actually want to read it from start to finish because I think it'd be really fun. And in 1999, that's when I read it. So it's been 26 years since I cracked this one open. And I remember really enjoying it and really trying to like do the practice of it. So we're gonna dive back in. Let's go. So I am going to end the vlog here. I'm going to curl up and watch a movie. Let me know down in the comments which one you think I'm going to choose, and then I'll show you at the very end which one I did pick. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining me right until the end for this little 90s inspired vlog. I had a lot of fun making it, and I'm sending you many, many blessings. Until next time, friend. Bye.